For my annotated bibliography, I decided to read the book And Tango Makes Three. It's written by Justin Richardson and Peter Parnell, and it was illustrated by Henry Cole. It has 8 awards, but one of the awards is the ASPCA's Henry Bergh Award, which was awarded to the book in 2005, and it was also written in 2005. So this book is lengthy, so I'm just going to give a summary. And Tango Makes Three is about 2 penguins named Roy and Silo, who are both male penguins living in the Central Park Zoo in New York City. And they are both boys, so they fall in love, and they begin to act like all the other penguin couples. They go swimming, they go fishing, and they eventually try to hatch an egg. But they are unable to hatch an egg because they are both boys. So at one point they even pick up a rock thinking it's an egg and that's how you make a penguin, and it's not. It never hatches. So at one point the zookeeper sees this, and he also notices that another penguin couple in the zoo had 2 eggs. So instead of taking that extra egg to the incubator, he gives it to Roy and Silo to hatch, and they end up hatching little baby Tango. And this book I thought was really, really nice because it's true. It's a true story. They actually do still live in the Central Park Zoo in New York City, and Tango is all grown up now, where she lives with her 2 daddy penguins, Roy and Silo. So let me go ahead and start from right here. 2 penguins in the penguin house were a little bit different. One was named Roy, and the other was named Silo. Roy and Silo were both boys, but they did everything together. They bowed to each other and walked together. They sang to each other and swam together. Wherever Roy went, Silo went too. So at this point, I would ask my students the question, how are Roy and Silo different from the other penguin couples, hoping that they would make the connection that they are boys, rather than boy and girl penguin couple, they are both boys. Let me skip ahead. Roy and Silo had no egg to sit on and keep warm. They had no baby chick to feed and cuddle and love. Their nest was nice, but it was a little empty. One day, Roy found something that looked like what the other penguins were hatching, and he brought it to their nest. It was only a rock, but Silo carefully sat on it and sat. To address vocabulary at this point, I would ask my students about the word hatching, and we would discuss the word hatching and try to find a definition for it based on the context clues and more strategies. At this point, I would also ask the question, why do you think Roy and Silo want to lay an egg together? And the answer that I'm hoping to get from this question is that they are in love, so they want to have a baby penguin, just like all the other the other adult couples in the zoo. So the questions I would ask at the end of this book are, do you think it was a good idea for Mr. Gramsci, the zookeeper, to give Roy and Silo an egg? Why or why not? And this would bring up the topic almost of adoption, because technically they did adopt the little Tango penguin. So that would be a discussion to get into, and it's a lot easier for students to comprehend, especially at a young age, considering it's a book about animals. So it would be easier for them to comprehend and to understand. And the last question I would ask, I would want to address diversity in the classroom. I would ask the students to tell me about their family and ask who's in their family. I would want to find out, does anyone have 2 moms, 2 dads, 1 mom, 1 dad? If you don't have a mom, maybe you're being raised by your grandma, your aunt, your brother, your sister. I would want to address diversity in the classroom, because this book shows that there are different kinds of families, and there's no one way to make up a family. There can be different families.